Yes, it's on, but it's on? No. Hello? Good morning. Can I get y'all to get settled here? You can't hear me this? Really close. Okay, good morning. Need y'all to take your places, please, so we can get started. I'm going to do my teacher thing, which I've never done, so it won't be well. Thank you so much for coming. I'm pleased that so many of you want to learn about this topic, which can be a little bit difficult. So thanks for being here, and I think it's going to be great. We have 3 speakers today. Pastor Carl is going to speak first about what our church does for memorial services. And then Katie Corso, who's back here, she's from Green Valley Mortuary. She's the director there. She's going to speak about what they do. And then we have Allison Howell back here in the corner. She's from SWIBA, which is Southwest Institute for Bioadvancement. And she's going to speak about donating body parts or whole bodies or something. This original top sheet that you have is for you to take notes on. It gives the websites and phone numbers of the speakers. Plus, we have on the back 2 others which are represented. It is MedCure and Science Care. And our team members, Marie and Karen, are in the back with brochures and information about those 2 afterwards. Those were the other ones that we were able to get information about. So without further ado, I will have Pastor Carl please come and start us with prayer and then do his topic. And then each person will just consecutively come up for their speaking because of time passing. And after each speaker, you will have time for questions and answers. Here we go.
Well, they say in life 2 things are inevitable, and that's taxes and death. Yep. So we're all in the right place, and because it's that kind of topic today, I'd like to quiet our hearts with the reading of Psalm 23. So you listen, and then I will lead us in prayer. This is a psalm I usually share at memorial services. It's one of the most powerful in all of Scripture. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. And your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies, and you anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Would you bow your heads and pray with me? Heavenly Father, we thank you for the truth of these words from your word. And I thank you that they give us comfort, they give us peace, and they give us strength when we think about preparing for aging and the end of life. We also thank you for your word that it gives us the wisdom we need on how to live and how to leave a legacy that has a great impact on the lives of others and a great impact for eternity. So we pray that what we will be able to learn today will be beneficial for us and our families and those we love. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Well, I do want to thank you for joining us today, and I do want to thank our Finish Well ministry team. I'd like us all to give them a big round of applause, all of them who are serving us. They are helping us navigate the aging process and how to finish life well, so we're grateful for them. As a pastor, I want you to know that I strive to walk alongside those who have experienced the death of a loved one and those who are facing some of the end-of-life challenges and struggles. And we at EFC Green Valley, we know that it's a very difficult time, and our passion is to do everything we can to help you prepare and have that peace of mind. We are also available to you in any way, and we are available to you in the form of counseling, or if you just need someone to talk to, or if you need someone to pray with you. We simply want you to know that we here at EFC Green Valley, we are here for you at this time and stage in your life. We're thankful and we take seriously the privilege of being able to honor you or a loved one with a celebration of life, and also with a service that will honor Christ and lift up his name. Facing death is one of the great challenges of life. I'm currently in a teaching series looking at the faithful legends in the Bible, and there's a common theme in their lives. When facing a challenge in life, the faithful legends in the Bible, they don't look to themselves, they don't look to their own strength. Instead, they look to the strength of the Lord. And we're here to help you do that. We're here to help you focus on the Lord and how he can work through these stages and challenging times in your life. Now, when facing the challenges in life and preparing for end of life or death, our biggest challenge in life is death. And we're oftentimes paralyzed by that fear. I shared last Sunday about my friend Lindy Farrow. She is someone who refused to be paralyzed by fear. She met with me to prepare her memorial service. Now that's a rare thing for me to do. I usually meet with family members of the deceased one. I don't meet with the person who's going to one day die, but she wanted to do that. She wanted to be prepared. She wanted to be able to inform her family and friends her desires and her wishes. You see, Lindy had cancer, and to be blunt, her doctors told her she had 3 to 9 months to finish out her life. And even though death often causes many of our hearts to kind of fear and melt, it wasn't the case for Lindy. She compared death, the greatest challenge that we face, she compared that and left it in the hands of God, the power of God. She knew Christ defeated death on the cross and through his resurrection. Now, by the way, that was about 3 or 4 years ago. They told her she only had 6 to 9 months. She's on year 4 now, and she's still in my wife's cancer support group. She is still giving her testimony, and she's still praising the Lord. So it's amazing how God worked through that, and that she has that testimony to share with people. Now, the point is, if you're facing death on your own, I don't know how you couldn't experience some fear of what comes next unless you simply suppress that truth, or, like Lindy, you trust in Christ who defeated death. So I begin with that, and now I want to talk about the why and the how-tos of preparing a memorial or celebration of life service. I want to share with you 3 points if you want to jot a few things down. First, the first point is that, like Lindy, we've got to embrace our finite nature. Unless we're raptured, we're all going to experience death. So recognizing this reality puts this flame or this fire underneath you that encourages you to prepare. My challenge to you is to not wait until you're in the midst of a health crisis. Do this when you're healthy in mind, body, and spirit, physically and spiritually and relationally. And there are 3 reasons for this. The first is that it will be a tremendous help to your family members or friends who will take on that responsibility of planning a celebration of life. If you don't do it, someone's going to have to end up doing it. And so they will greatly appreciate knowing how you want to kind of tailor that celebration of life to honor your legacy. Second thing is this: you can support them by sharing your wishes and helping develop a plan that aligns with your faith and your values and your personality. Those things can be left out if it's just placed in the hands of others who will prepare the service. And third, your planning allows to ensure that the gospel is presented to all who attend. You'll have the opportunity to make sure that the hope and the message of Christ is within your memorial service. I will tell you this: people are often very, very open spiritually when they face their own mortality at memorial services. And so we just trust, at EFC Green Valley, we trust that God will work through memorial services in a very powerful way because the word is being shared and the gospel is being shared. The second point is that we at EFC Green Valley are here to help and assist you in a variety of ways during this planning process. Let me communicate those to you. The first way that we can help is by maintaining records of important instructions. So there's a couple things that we use. Number one is we have an emergency card, and you can fill this out. I believe you have. Do you have this on your table? Okay. So you can fill this out, and if there is an emergency or if a death occurs, we or friends or family members can use this emergency information to notify who you have listed. So in case of an emergency, this can help us help your loved ones or your family or friends by contacting the people that you have listed on this. So that is something that you can fill out. You can make copies of it. You can pick up a couple more copies here if you like. But you can fill that out. You can keep one on file at home. You can give it to a loved one, and you can keep one on record here at the church. The second thing that will help is we have a resource called 5 Wishes. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of this. Okay, so a number of you have. There's a good majority that haven't. This is something that we have here. I've got a whole box of them. You can fill this out, and what this does, it's a resource that will help you clarify and communicate your wishes when you reach the end of life. You can make a copy of this also, and you can leave one here on file at the church. And that'll help us when the time comes. We'll have the information that you want us to have. You can make a copy and give this to friends or family members who will also help you in that journey. Let me tell you what the 5 wishes clarify. Number 1, the person you want to make care decisions for you when you can't. That's important. You want, number 2, the kind of medical treatment you want and don't want. You want to make that clear to the people who are going to be around. And then number 3, you want to communicate how comfortable you want to be at the end of life. Number 4, you're able to communicate how you want people to treat you at the end of life. And number 5, you're able to communicate in the 5 wishes what you want loved ones to know. Now, whatever that might be, you're able to put it in here, and you have that for friends, family, and you can also have a copy here at the church that will assist us in that journey. The second way we can help you is by pre-planning your celebration of life with a resource guide for creating a eulogy or obituary details. Go ahead and look at that one sheet that says eulogy outline. You'll be surprised at how many people have no idea of what to say at a memorial service. And this is a great guide for you to be able to discuss with family and friends or someone that you may want to speak at your memorial. And you can help them by even writing some things down that are important to you, that describe you, that describes your faith, that describe your testimony to your family and so forth. Listen, I've heard a lot of eulogies that have left out so much important information about the deceased. Well, let's help them out by giving them some of the most important information to them. So you can use this as a simple guide, and then this can be adapted to be used as an obituary that you can post online or post in the newspaper. A lot of people struggle with that. Family members and friends, they really struggle with, what do we write for the obituary? Well, help them out with this guide. Let's see, the second thing, let's see where I am. Okay, and then the third way we can help is by assisting you plan the memorial or celebration of life. Now, this will include organizing and providing elements like a reception. We'll do a morning memorial, and many people would like to provide a meal or a lunch afterwards. We help and provide that. Some people will have an afternoon memorial, and they'd like to have, for the people who attend, they'd like to have cookies and coffee. Just a nice reception for the loved ones who will attend. We'll also help you prepare a multimedia presentation or a video tribute. Those are great things to prepare well in advance when you're able to look at all the pictures that you'd like people to view at your memorial service. Now, this brings me to the third point, which is, what does a typical celebration of life look like? Now, let me say this. There are typical elements to a celebration of life, but I don't want you to be afraid to step out of the box and do creative things that you think would be special for your loved ones. So just be aware of that. It really comes down to things that you would like to see in your celebration of life. More than anything, though, our desire is that a celebration of life, it honors you. And we want to make sure that it lifts up the name of Jesus and it presents the gospel. Those are some key elements that we want to make sure are in our memorial services. So I want to encourage you to look through a couple of items. The first is a memorial service outline. What you'll see here is a few thoughts that I have up there for you, and then it'll give you an outline of the elements and just what each of those elements mean. So for example, it says typically there is a welcome. That's where the pastor will welcome guests on behalf of the family. There's a scripture or special reading. This could be a pastor, this could be a friend, this could be a niece, a nephew, anyone that you decide who might read a scripture. You'll have a eulogy. Sometimes that's read by the pastor because people don't have anyone who wants to do any public speaking, but it could be a family member or a friend. And it just goes on, and then you'll see something on the back side. There's also a time of worship. Maybe the special presentation. That could be that multimedia video that we create for you. Then there is the memorial message. And it just says there a little bit about, if it were me or any other pastor here at EFC, basically what we share during a memorial message. And what we like to do is we like to kind of get a window into their life and just highlight special characteristics of that person that people can know those unique things about them and kind of live out their legacy by adopting those same characteristics in their life. So anyway, I think this will be very helpful for you. The next sheet that you have there is a memorial planning sheet. All this is you will sit down with a pastor or a support staff here at EFC, and we just write down the details. We get everything in writing. So we just walk through this together so we're all on the same page about what's going to happen in the memorial service. We know what you need, and we know what we need to have in the room, the worship center, etc. And then finally, I've included a bulletin. This is just a sample bulletin. We create these here at the church. I think we do a really wonderful job on these, but you'll see that we usually put a picture on the front. We have some special poem, maybe some special words, maybe a hymn. It shows the order of service. And then on the back side, we oftentimes have a gospel presentation on the back because the people who come, they take this. Some of them keep it. It's like a keepsake. And so to be able to have the gospel on here clearly printed for them, they can reflect on that. So that's a sample of our bulletins. And then I will just give you one final challenge as I pass this on to the next speaker. I really want to challenge everyone in here, keep attending Finish Well. Keep attending these gatherings because they are going to give you more information on important topics that have to do with navigating aging and the end of life. There are going to be a variety of topics such as legacy giving, exploring trust versus wills, and praying about how you can make a meaningful impact both now for others and the kingdom. And we want you to be able to do that when you have the opportunity to make those decisions yourselves. So now I'll take just maybe 2 or 3 minutes and see if anyone has a question you'd like to ask. Yes?
What you just presented, is that for church attenders, for anybody? Like, could somebody come that doesn't come to our church and say, I'd like to have a service?
So the question is this just for our church members or for our community? And it's for everyone. So we see it as an opportunity to impact their lives and be able to share the gospel. We've had people who are unbelievers come and say, we need some help. And so it's a great time to be able to walk them through that. They may let us do a memorial service, and they'll let us share the gospel, and they're not even believers. But we're here for everyone in the church and everyone in the community. So you can let people know.
Is it for a charge?
That's a really good question. The question is it free of charge? And we see this as a ministry of our church. So we don't request any fees. However, on this page, memorial service outline, at the very end, I did make a note about honorariums and I only did that because oftentimes we have people ask us, I'd like to give an offer honorarium, but I don't know what's appropriate. And so if someone asks, we will certainly give them appropriate suggestions for that. Anyone else? Yes?
Just a comment. We buy life insurance when we're young. We can think straight and it's cheap. Fill this out now.
Thank you for sharing that. Buy life insurance, I guess, when you're young. How many are under 50 in here? All right, well, we missed out on that. Encourage your grandkids. Buy life insurance young while it's cheap.
Well, that's why you want to fill this out now.
And you want to fill this out now because you all look really sharp and like you've got it together. So I want to encourage you to take that step. Any last question? Yeah.
I would just like to encourage young people to look at buying whole life insurance rather than term insurance. Because when you reach a certain age, like when you reach your 70s, the amount of the premium triples.
Yeah, that's a good. I'm glad you brought that up. Term versus whole life. That's good. That's good for the Finish Well team to hear because it may give them ideas for future topics. So thanks for sharing that. Yes.
Does the 5 wishes, if you already have, what am I trying to say, the trust or your will done or whatever, does that override anything?
No. If you listen to the 5 things that I said, it's
Okay.
really,
It's just your care.
Yeah.
Your final care.
yeah.
Like if you want music played or whatever.
Well, if you want music, well, that could be in how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
So if you can outline, hey, in that end of life phase, this is what I'd like. I'd like this kind of music playing. I'd like these people to come see me. You just put those things down that are on your heart. And that will help those who are with you and want to make sure that you're cared for. Yeah, I'm going to give you one of these. And if anyone else wants one of the 5 wishes booklet, it is right here. In fact, are there any other questions? Okay, then I'll come around. If your hand is up, I'll give one of these to you. But let me go ahead and invite the next speaker up, and I'm going to pass my mic on to them. But thanks for letting me share. I greatly appreciate that, and it's kind of weird to say I'm looking forward to help you plan your memorial service, but I am. There's great things that can happen through the planning of a good memorial celebration of life and how the gospel can be presented there. So thank you so much for letting me share.
Hi, good morning. My name is Katie Corso, and I am a funeral director, embalmer, cremationist, and a cemetery sales specialist. Is that better? Yes. Perfect. Sorry. Just a little bit about me. This is a second career for me. I did hair for 15 years beforehand. It's a little different. I have been in the funeral industry for about 5 years now. I am wildly passionate about it. And I'm here with my colleague who is Francesca. She goes by Paki Molina. She has been in the industry for 26 years. So she and is our pre-need specialist and cemetery sales specialist. So she has a wealth of knowledge, and most of you living people, I'm going to direct to speak to her. Okay. Green Valley Mortuary and Cemetery is where I am from. It is one of the last family-owned mortuary and cemetery in the area. Just in case you guys didn't know, there's a whole bunch of corporations who have come and bought out most of the mortuaries and cemeteries, but we are still family-owned and locally operated. We are a desert landscape cemetery, but have the best mountain views in the area, and I will argue with you over your home on that. We are a full-service mortuary. We operate our own crematory on site. So when you come to us, you stay with us, and I walk you through the entire process. We have been serving Southern Arizona for over 40 years now. We aren't going anywhere. We aren't selling to a corporation. We are going to stay family owned and operated. Why plan ahead? I have so many people down here who die at 96 years old, and the people are like, it's so unexpected. Like, as I empathize with that, I do know that planning ahead reduces so much emotional strain on your family and especially on spouses. We ensure that your wishes are followed. If you pre-plan and prepay, we lock in your rates. So inflation is something that's happening big. If you pay today and tariffs keep going up, we have to guarantee those prices. And then this allows people to make a logical decision. I hate to see people guilted into purchasing what dad wouldn't want. Like my dad says, throw me in a pine box. Like, I know that most people feel obligated to spend way more money than what their family would have wished, honestly. Pre-arrangement is the process of planning a funeral in advance. It does include a selection of would you like to be buried and would you like to be cremated? And then the preference on your cemetery, if you're going to a cemetery, or any other preferences that you may have. That can include, you need to contact Evangelical Free Church, and all of my wishes are there as well. We work hand in hand with any church or religious organization in the community. It does involve prepaying. We will not keep a file on site unless you have prepaid and prearranged with us for you. And then it does involve signing required authorizations, which is a big one. So if you have, we see this very frequently, if you have 6 children, we do require all 6 children give us cremation authorization to move forward. That is unless you have an NPOA. Okay, and then a spouse is obviously going to supersede that. But the most common thing that we see is kid number 6, unfortunately, isn't involved anymore, and it becomes a stressful situation. I'll talk about that a little bit more. The benefits of prearranging, it avoids family conflicts, which it does help manage rising funeral costs, not riding funeral costs, and it customizes an experience according to your values and belief and gives you a control over your legacy. What exactly can be prearranged? Your type of disposition, your preferred service. It's not just all memorial services. We can do a traditional memorial with a visitation and a viewing, even a family visitation, or a graveside service. Your casket or urn selection, your selection on memorial book, prayer cards, and memorial folders, the location of the service that is preferred, your cemetery plot, niche, or crypt, and sending your remains to the final destinations. We're a transplant industry, so if you want to be sent back to Michigan in an urn or a casket, I can make that happen for you. So we're gonna go into what happens after you die. So please don't call us when your loved one is dead there. Call the police first. We can't pick you up until someone pronounces you. So if someone is not on hospice care, please call the police. They're gonna come down and legally pronounce you dead by a medical professional. And then we contact, or the next of kin is contacted, and they select a funeral home. That's really important. If you have pre-arrangements with us, make sure that your family knows that. We see a lot of people, because we are the only one in the Green Valley, Sarita area. We see a lot of people that contact us for holding. We unfortunately use a third-party transportation service, which then you guys become liable for. So make sure you at least have a funeral home picked out, okay? The funeral home, then when you arrive, the funeral home is gonna make contact with the family and send off the doctor the death certificate. The funeral home then meets with the next of kin to gather information and authorizations. Step 5 is after the doctor has signed off on the death certificate, if cremation is selected, the funeral home has to get permission to move forward with cremation from the state. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Do you have handouts for the?
I can send it out to you guys. I have it sent to the church. I don't know if can we get a printed copy of this?
We can take care of it. Just send it to us.
Okay, perfect. The doctor has to get the death certificate, we have to get permission to cremate from the state. This is to protect you guys if there's any sort of like hip fall. This keeps doctors in check. So this is a good thing. It does slow things down a little bit. And then the body is, at that point, the body is prepared for burial or cremation. Once we have that permission, we move forward with burial or cremation. That's when we can order death certificates, and that's when we put you in your final disposition. After that is when your next of kin gets to pick you up. These are Arizona state laws to consider, and this is essentially what I get yelled at for all day, okay? Next of kin has the right to make final decisions unless it's specified by a power of attorney. The only thing that a power of attorney cannot supersede is your spouse, okay? So if you have someone that you do not want involved, please get a power of attorney. Advance directives and pre-arrangement plans can override those default laws, okay? And then disposition authorization forms are often used to carry out your final wishes. As I said, Arizona state law is we must have the majority of adult children in agreement of cremation. We as a funeral home require all children for those authorizations unless it's stated in a legal document. If not, we have to wait 15 days before we proceed with any sort of disposition, okay? Arizona allows you to prepay funeral trust and insurance funded plan. This is to protect you as the consumer. So Paki is actually a licensed insurance agent. So we, Green Valley Mortuary, do not take your money. It goes into an insurance policy that then can follow you. So if you decide to move to Colorado tomorrow, your money is safe in that insurance policy. You just find another funeral home that'll take that insurance. Okay? And then nothing supersedes the legal power of a spouse. So I hope you like them.
If you already have that from another place, does somebody need to take that to you and find out whether you carry theirs?
Absolutely. So the question was, if you have insurance from somewhere else, will we take it? We will. Yes, we will take it. The thing that I ask you to do is to contact your insurance agent, find out how much is in that policy, and then make sure that our prices align with yours, because you'll be responsible for the difference. Okay? And we can't guarantee their pricing, unfortunately. Death certificates is the number one thing that everybody wants, because you can't do anything without them. Death certificates take 7 to 10 business days to produce, and they are pending a doctor's signature and the county permit. For government use only death certificates, you receive 1 to 2 of them. So you will get one for Social Security that is free. It says for government use only, horizontally across or diagonally across it. You will get an identical one if you did any sort of military service. Death certificates in this state are $20 a copy, up to 7, and then they go up to $20.50 on that 8th one. I don't know why. There is a $6 filing fee that we get hit with every time you order death certificates. Okay. So as if that wasn't enough, we're going to talk about cemetery property now. Cemetery property, I like you to think as your real estate. So this is your forever home. We have options such as an in-the-ground burial plot. There is mausoleum crypts, which is going to be full bodies in the wall above ground. And then there's a cremation niche, which is going to be urns in the wall above ground. And then we have an urn garden, which is going to be urns in the ground, small space. And then a scattering garden. Our scattering garden is free. You guys are welcome to come and use it if you scatter on your own. So if you need a place to scatter your loved ones, you don't know what you're going to do with the urns, I highly encourage you to come use our scattering garden. There are different types of cemeteries. We have private cemeteries, which are going to belong to religious or cultural groups and families. I have listed the Brighampton LDS Cemetery, the Pasquayaki Cemetery, McGee Ranch Cemetery, and San Javier Mission Cemetery. Those are all examples of private cemeteries in our area. Public cemeteries are available to everyone. So we are a public cemetery. Evergreen, Mortuary, South Lawn, East Lawn, and Holy Hope are all going to be considered public cemeteries. And then there's veteran cemeteries, which depending on how long you served, that is an option for free property for veterans. That is just the property side of things, not the mortuary side of things. Costs and considerations: when you are shopping for a cemetery, make sure that they have perpetual care charges. See if they will transfer property. Pick your space and availability. And then will you need a companion space or a family estate? Those are all things to consider. Key questions before you buy is, are there rules for decorations and grave markers? We only allow flat bronze markers. There are other cemeteries that allow the upright ones. I like to let people know you are buying the burial rights for that property. You are not purchasing that property. You cannot build a tiny home on your grave space, okay? You own the burial rights only. And then, are there maintenance fees? And can you transfer your property? Okay. To get started, the first thing you want to do is talk to your family, make sure that your wishes align with their wishes, and then meet with a funeral director or a pre-planning advisor. I always welcome people to come and just look at our cemetery, make sure it suits your needs, and then put your plans in writing. It's a lot easier if you pre-plan or if you're working directly with a lawyer. And then just make sure to keep your documents updated and accessible. I have some resources in Arizona. We're obviously a resource and happy to talk to you, but we also have the Veterans Affairs Cemetery information, Arizona Advanced Directive Registry, the National Funeral Directors Association, and the Arizona Funeral Directors Associations are all resources that you can contact and look up. Okay. My final thought is planning ahead is an act of love. My father's not doing it for me, so please do it for your kids. It gives your family clarity, comfort, and peace. And just start today. It's a lot easier once you get that ball rolling, everything's going to fall into place for you. Do you guys have any questions for me? Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to make a statement. I was a hairstylist, and if you have an open casket and
Yes,
you
ma'am.
want your favorite hairdo,
Mm-hmm.
you need to contact your hairstylist and she'll come and do it for you. I have done that.
So the statement was that if you have a hairstylist and a favorite hairstylist, that they're welcome to come and make you look your best for your final days. So we happily work with anybody in the community. If you wanted to do your grandmother's hair as a final act of love, that is something that can be done as well. It's not just limited to professionals. Yes, sir.
Does your service include the cremation? Yeah. You mentioned it earlier.
So the question was, does our service include the cremation? So we do provide direct cremation, correct. So it does include, we can do anything, so yes.
Great, so if a person is interested in the cremation
Mm-hmm.
and put it in a jar, put the ashes in the jar
Mm-hmm.
and leave, because they already have places to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So our direct cremation, we do provide a black plastic standard urn. It comes with the package. That is what I recommend using if you're being shipped anywhere or if you're going into a wall, because nobody's going to see it. So that is something that we provide for free. If you want to go into a jar, sir, I'm happy to do that.
No, I'm joking.
I've had Folger coffee cans. I've had hand spun pottery things in the community. So
So, if it's just a simple thing, cremation and leave with the ashes, what's the cost expected on that, and can you prepay it?
yeah, so the question was, what is the cost of our direct cremation and can you prepay it? So our direct cremation is $1,750. What that does not include are going to be taxes, state fees, and death certificates. I will say the average number of person is going to need between 5 to 7 death certificates. So what I would pre-plan for in your mind is just under $2,000. Paki is happy for you to come and meet with her and pre-plan and prepay for that.
Now, is your competition Amazon? Just a joke.
Amazon doesn't quite offer cremations yet. I will say that I have so many families purchase their urns from Amazons, and we are happy to fill them for you. The Amazon trinkets and urns and mini urns, they are going to be at a lower cost than ours. We do our best to get our urns made from America, so they're going to be a little bit higher cost.
Thank you for answering.
Of course. Yes, ma'am.
Is it legal to bury an urn of ashes on your own property?
Is it legal to bury ashes on your own property? So it's a gray area, okay? Because Arizona state law states that for final disposition, when you are cremated, your final disposition is the crematory. So that is why I am able to send you home with an urn, right? I can't send you home with a casket, but I can send you home with an urn because your final disposition is the crematory. So I don't see any law currently stating against it. I would be concerned about what would happen afterwards. I recommend scattering as a better option.
One concern might be to call the utility company before you dig.
Yeah, you should call the utility company before you dig anything. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
When you mentioned the government death certificate, that it was for former veterans, does that also include former spouses that are fully vested?
The question is about the for government use only death certificate. Do spouses also get the for government use only death certificate? Unfortunately, they do not. I will tell you, Social Security has gone completely digital. So as a funeral home, we contact Social Security for you through an electronic system. You're welcome. You don't have to sit on hold for 6 hours. So I see spouses more and more using that free for government use only that is for Social Security for VA benefits. Yes, sir.
Do you have an itemized cost handout?
I can get an itemized, yeah.
Shows the current, not the future inflation, but options and costs involved?
Yes, what I will say is because our overhead is the Federal Trade Commission, our itemized breakdown can be a little bit confusing to people. I'm happy to give it to you. What I would recommend is that you have a direction. So if you're like, I want to be buried, can I get an itemized cost of that? I will give you both our entire menu and an itemized breakdown for that as well. So if you want a direct cremation, I will give you our full price list as well as an itemized breakdown of what a direct cremation costs. Are there any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Do you have those with you now, or is that something, we need to contact you about.
Baki, do we have GPLs? Okay, I can run and grab some. I'll make sure to get them to you today. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for bringing the cookies.
Yes. All right. If there are no more questions, I'm going to pass off to Swiba.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Hard to follow. Like that? Okay. Thank you. And then you have to hold this way closer than you think you do. Okay.
Thank you. You did so good.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Allison Howell, and I work for SWIBA, the Southwest Institute for Bioadvancement. We are a whole body donation organization for medical research and education. We are locally owned here in Tucson, Arizona. Our only location is in Arizona, and we service the entire state of Arizona. So it makes us a little different from Science Care and some of the others that service multiple states, but we are one of the last locally owned whole body donation organizations, so that's why we are limited to serving the state of Arizona.
Can you speak just a little louder, please?
Yeah, I know I speak so quiet, sorry. So one of the benefits to our program is we do pay for a direct cremation. So by law, we're tasked with the final disposition. So that means if you gift your whole body to us, by law, we have to take care of the disposition. So that is a direct cremation. And what that includes is 2 death certificates on top of the one from Social Security, the basic cremation container, and we also offer shipping cremains for free. So say you live here, but your loved ones are all back in Ohio. We'll ship the cremains to Ohio for free to a facility that is able to accept them. So some type of cemetery or mortuary. Our donors are solely used for medical research and education, which makes us different from the other organizations. We are actually the only whole body donation organization that is our donors are solely used for medical research and education. And what that means is the other organizations are involved with ballistics, crash tests, and forensics, which are all needed, but they're a little bit harder to think about your body being used for or one of your loved ones being used for those things. So we work with the Mayo Clinic here in Arizona. We work with the Mayo Clinic in Florida. We have a local surgeon training facility on site in Tucson. So we actually are able to have a lot of our donors be utilized in Tucson to give back to our communities for our residents and surgeons to come in and learn and train to advance medical surgical procedures at our facility. We are accredited by the American Association of Tissue Banks, which is the same accrediting body that accredits Donor Network of Arizona, which is the transplant company here in Arizona. And it's not required in our industry, but that just makes us able to work with reputable companies like Johnson & Johnson and Mayo Clinic, and it also gives you peace of mind. We're audited every 3 years by them. They come in, they sit at our facility for 2 full days and go through our entire process, start to finish. We also are licensed by the Arizona Health Department and the New York Department of State of Health. I'm trying to think of what else.
If we donate parts, what happens?
Okay, so when you donate your body to us, we then do a physical assessment and determine what can be used for medical research and education, and what is not able to be used is cremated and returned to your loved ones as cremains. It is a lesser amount, but you will always receive cremains back. So we try to maximize the gift of donation and use our donors for as many different medical research and education projects as possible, but your family will always receive cremains back.
Do you sell parts?
We do not sell parts. It's illegal to sell parts. So we are reimbursed for a service. So we have to have staff, we have to pay for cremations, we have to pay for transportations, buildings, things of that sort, but we do not sell body parts, no. Yes.
Are there any non-qualifying conditions that would not allow you to obtain the body?
Yes. So the only true rule outs are anything infectious. So active hepatitis A, B, or C, HIV, AIDS, and then we have a long laundry list of necrotizing fasciitis. Some sepsis can be a rule out, things of that sort. And that all will be through a process of a medical and a social assessment that you would go through. And the only honest true rule outs are anything infectious. But if you did have hepatitis C and you took the medication and finished it and were deemed clear, you are able to be accepted into our program. There are 2 ways to enroll with us. And one of the ways, the best way, is a pre-consent. And that means you register yourself prior to passing, and then you're a guaranteed donor with us. So what that means is, say you decide that this is something you'd like to do, you call us, you can do the whole recorded consent over the phone in about a 20-minute phone call. Or if you want somebody to come out and do an in-person consent with you, you call and you schedule that with us as well. And that means you're guaranteed no matter what. So say you don't pass away for 15 more years, but when you pass away, you have MRSA or you die of septic shock. Even though we're not able to use that for medical research and education, we still honor the gift of donation and take care of that cremation. So no matter what, you're guaranteed with us. One of the great things about our company is the owners have been in the industry over 25 years. They worked with the Red Cross and different organizations. And what they learned is they actually helped start Life Legacy Foundation, which I don't know if that'll ring any bells. It sold a long time ago to Science Care. But they were some of the very first employees. And what they found was that they were going out and marketing and getting people to enroll in their program and getting different hospice social workers to believe in them and refer. But then when the patients would pass in the middle of the night, they would say, oh, they lost too much weight, or now they're infectious, so we're not going to honor the gift. So at 2 a.m., you're left with having to make some really hard decisions when you thought everything was taken care of. So what they did was, eventually when they found their way outside of Life Legacy, they went off and did other things and eventually started SWIBA. And one of those things that they did was change everything that they disliked. They didn't feel that you should believe that you have all of your final arrangements made and then at 2 a.m. be told no because you weren't perfect. So that's why we offer that guaranteed donor program. So no matter what, if you're accepted into our program, you are a donor with us. Unless you decide you don't want to be. That's another question we get. People will say, wait, if I sign up with you and I change my mind, does that mean I can't change my mind? Absolutely not. We're not here to make anyone be a donor. If you change your mind, you can call us up and say, hey, I don't want to be a donor anymore. I thought about it. We'll remove you. Or guess what? When you pass away, just no one call us. And we also will not know. So but 100%, if it doesn't sit well with you or your next of kin, your children, your husband, your spouse, your wife, whoever, we are not here to make you be a donor. We're here to be there if you decide you do want to move forward with us, but if you change your mind or it doesn't sit well, you 100% do not have to be a donor with us. The second way to consent with us is at need. So that would be at the time of passing, your legal next of kin would call in and consent you in if they knew these were your wishes. We are the same as Green Valley Mortuary, and we require all next of kin be 100% aware and in agreement. So by law, it's only majority, but our policy is we want it to sit well with everyone. It has to be 100% across the board. We do understand that family dynamics get a little tricky and there might be an estrangement, and we work through those case by case. Some we can get approved on, some we can't. So just be aware. So that's why pre-registering is your best bet. You get to make your own decisions. You are in control. Yes.
Approximately how long is the body kept?
Perfect. Okay. So in terms of cremated remains?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, yeah. How long do they use the body for medical research or education?
Okay. So the question was, how long do we keep our donors for medical research and education? So it varies depending on the different projects. Mayo Clinic does a breast cancer research project about once a year, and they keep the donors a little bit longer, but then return back to us for final disposition. So it's really case by case, but I would say at extreme most, a year would be the longest. But each project varies of what they're doing or what type of research or education they're doing. If it's education, it tends to be a lot quicker because they're learning how to do different procedures. Or it could be a surgeon that hasn't done a particular procedure in a while that needs to practice before going into a live surgery. Yes.
What about transplants?
Mhm.
Are you on that system?
So we are not transplant. We are solely whole body donation for medical research and education, but we work with Donor Network of Arizona very, very well, and we can share donors. So the main difference is Donor Network of Arizona usually takes like long bones or skin, things of that sort, but they do not pay for the final disposition. So some families that are really into donation will donate to both of us, and then we pay for the final disposition. But we share with Donor Network, and we allow them to have whatever they need to remove for transplant, and then the donor will come to our facility. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So you take cancer
Mhm.
patients?
Absolutely. I would say probably 90% of our donors have cancer. So one of the nice things is somebody that is interested in transplant donation but maybe doesn't qualify because of cancer or different things, we're a great option for it because that is not a rule out. Our only true rule outs are anything infectious. Yes.
The final disposition of remains,
Mhm.
do you let the parties know that they are coming to them rather than just showing up in the mail?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we have multiple options. So they can come.
Repeat the question.
Oh, sorry. The question was, when the cremains are returned to the family, do we let the family know or do they just show up? Good question. So we can have families come into our facility in Tucson and pick up in person if they would like to, or when they are mailed, we call and schedule that with you. So it has to be signed for, somebody has to be home, and it's very expensive to ship cremains. So we always want to make sure that it works with your schedule, you're going to be home, you're aware that they're coming. So we schedule that. We usually call the day before, ask if it's okay for you to receive the next day. You say yes, and then we'll take to the post office. So you will 100% know when your loved one is being returned to you.
The reason I ask that is my neighbor in Texas received her husband's remains in her mailbox without even being told that he was coming.
That was a special delivery.
I can't speak on Texas law, but we have to have a signature for cremains. They will never be left at a doorstep or in a mailbox. You have to sign for them. Yeah, it's the way we ship them too. I don't know if by law that's required, but it's the way that we feel comfortable mailing.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Is each body cremated individually or as a group?
They have to be. So what is cremated and returned to your family is a 100% you, is as if it was your whole body, even though it's not your whole body. So that is cremated and returned to your family. What is used for medical research and education is considered anatomical material, and that can be commingled and cremated, but that is not returned to your family, that is scattered. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Are there costs involved with this to the person, or
Nope.
not by the pound or anything?
No. No. The only cost there would be, the question was, is there any cost associated with this service? There is not. We are not legally allowed to take any money from the public. The only cost I would say that you could incur is if you need more death certificates, right? But it'll be the same whether you go through a mortuary or through us. That's through Vital Records. You order more death certificates, but nothing with the direct cremation or the death certificates or the mailing that we do or any type of transportation will be a bill to your family. Yes.
So if the person passes outside of Arizona, you pay for the transportation to pick them up, or that you're liable for that?
Good question. So she just asked if you pass away outside of the state of Arizona, if we pay for the transportation. So we only service the state of Arizona. So what we suggest to do is if somebody has dual residency, someone maybe lives back east in the summer and here for the winter, is we say enroll somewhere that covers the state that you spend half of your time with, so you're covered in both states. So while you're in Arizona, we 100% cover that, even if you're all the way at the Nevada border. As long as you're in the state of Arizona, we do cover that cost. But if you're in a different state, we always suggest you dual enroll. Yes, ma'am.
That brings up the question, what happens if you're traveling and you have an accident somewhere else?
Get back
Too
there.
bad.
The question was, what happens if you're traveling and that happens somewhere else? I would say travel insurance. It's always a question, but to be honest, we've never had it happen. I've been with the company 11 years. They've been in business, 15 now. And everybody asks that, but if you think about it, if you're sick, most likely towards the end of your life, you're not traveling that much. So that's something to keep in mind as well. But we only cover the state of Arizona. If somebody reached out and said they were a donor with you, but they're in Texas, we could always connect you with a company that covers Texas. And if you were a good donor for us, most likely you'd be a good donor for them, and then they could do the consent as well. But I know in the 11 years I've been with the company, we haven't had it happen. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
So can you just can a person just come to you and have the cremation done without any other services?
No. So the question was, can somebody come to us from the public and solely have a cremation? And the answer was no. We are a whole body donation organization for medical research and education. We are licensed as a funeral establishment to do our own death registration paperwork and things of that sort, but we do not have a retort, which is the machine that you're cremated in, and we do not offer services to the public. It's solely if you're a donor with us, we offer those services, or we pair with the mortuary that then completes the cremation. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
Where are you located?
We are located, the question is where are we located? We are located in Tucson, Arizona. We're in the Butterfield Business Complex, which isn't far from the airport. There's like a main FedEx hub there. It's a lot of offices, and we have 2 buildings there. One of the buildings is solely for, it's half of where our donors are, and half is the surgical training facility, and the other building is solely where families can come into an office space. Yeah. Any other questions? No. Thank you all so much for your time.
Thank you, Allison. Yes, get this on here real quick. Okay, thank you so much to our speakers. Wasn't it great? Yeah, and thank you all for coming. And we do have pamphlets back there, and the mortuary has little goodie handouts. You can ask them more questions. And we do have the SWIBA pamphlets, I believe, and also from MedCure and Med Science Karen. They're all back there, so if you have questions, check them out. And our next presentation is October 17th. So put that on your calendar, 11 o'clock on Friday, to come to that. And if you wanted the slides from Katie's talk, you know we're recording this. So it's going to be on the website. You can go to Finish Well, one of our ministries. It's marked under ministries, then it's Finish Well, and then all of our presentations are on there. So if you've missed one in the past, you can listen to it. You know, if you're at home and you want to stop and write down what Katie's slide said, you can do that on your own computer, right? Okay, somebody had a question. Pastor Carl.
Say, there was an email that was going to be sent to the church that you can pass on that.
I can. I do have her slides on email. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So you'll take care of that.
Well, if somebody wants to come and tell me that they want those sent, I mean, it will be on the website in the presentation. But if you want them separately, yes, come and let me know.
How many presentations have you had so far, and how many do you anticipate?
We had 3 last season, and we will be doing 7 this season, September through April. And Pastor Carl tells me this is an unending ministry. We have lots of stuff that we can cover to help you all with end-of-life stuff and, you know, as you're getting towards the end of life. So there's a lot that we can share, and we're happy to do so, and it'll help you. So thank you all very much for coming. You are dismissed.